of intelligence. We are those who invented thinking. It came from our very DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. We are the original man and woman. So therefore, anything that comes from intelligence, artistic ability, creativity, physical strength, mental strength, anything came from us. So when somebody says you're talking white, it's because they made you think they were intelligent. So therefore, you still think the white man is God. Even we push white supremacy by pushing black degeneracy, saying that anything that's good and black is horrible, is dumb. All you whitewash nigga, you didn't. No, bro. I'm going to stand up right. Speak intellectually and intelligently, know the words that I'm speaking. I'm not just going to parrot some white dude I saw on television. Why? Because I know that my ancestors did this when they were able to read before they were ripped away from reading, which, by the way, why in the hell would you rip me away from reading unless you knew that me reading made me superior to you in some way, form, or fashion? So, no, brother. I keep it on that level, and we have to keep pushing that level, and we have to keep that example going by not only uniting, being intelligent, buying up every damn thing, spending with one another, black on everything. We have to do it like this because that is the one thing that's going to destroy the system of white supremacy, which, by the way, it is coming down right now, and they see it because the damn number one athlete in the world, which is a black woman who has the Olympic medal in every single Olympic sport, every single thing that they see right now is black, beautiful, black this, black that, and they can't stand it, so they try to convince you through the media, through television, through the music industry, etc., that black people are still here doing this and doing that, when it's the quite opposite. We are actually flourishing and prospering for the first time in a very long time. And we have to keep pushing that image, and we have to be proud of it. It doesn't mean we're going to be superior and we're going to start crushing you. It just means we are finally able to live the way we're supposed to be living.
I just want to say that one thing I'll say that's helped me, and I'll pass it on. My father told me when I was a kid, he said, son, I want you to understand something. I'm your father. I'm going to do a lot of shit you don't like. I'm going to do a lot of shit your mama don't like, your brother don't like, and I don't give a damn. Why? Because I'm your father. And remember this. He said, you're going to have to remember this, and I have. He says, at some point in your life, you're going to have to tell all the women in your life, including your mother, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to say, kiss my ass. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's real. Let the chips fall. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to get women talk a gang of shit. Mm-hmm. Women get emotional. Women, you ain't shit. Okay, you have that right as a woman to do that. You have that right to change your mind. You have that right to be emotional. You got all of that. We have that right to be a man and be
you don't. You're a man. You're not allowed to do that. How dare you?
Nah.
That's not you get that shit though.
Anyway, after you're done saying all of that, I'm still
exactly
this guy over here. Right.
And women say that because they don't want to deal with the ramifications and repercussions of dealing with stealing my cornbread.
Bobby,
a little good news. I'm glad Gunny Bill was here today to
Hell
share.
Hell yeah.
Bill Sauce in the building.
To share a perspective, a generational beyond mine.
Right.
82 years old and still firm in his commitment to dreaming. And then creating a child that followed in his path and then diverted enough to make his dream a possibility. We have to replicate these stories and these models of possibility. And just a minute ago, I looked at my phone, and an hour ago, I heard from my son. And that's why I keep coming back to, sometimes, man, you got to weather the storm. And if you do, be glad that you do.
With my youngest, I'm doing that. But my older one, I'm already on point with him.
So let me ask this question to all the brothers here. What happens when you got to leave that boy behind?
I need to know what you mean by leaving behind. You mean physically leaving behind?
What I mean by, I can't get in.
I agree with that, but I need to be clear about it. You can leave somebody behind physically. It only matters when you leave them behind emotionally. When you
that's why I was still setting up my point, Bobby. But you got emotional about it, but that's all right.
You goddamn right. I need to know.
I feel a little bit of yogurt coming on, bro.
No. Bobby,
I know Bobby ain't. I know Bobby for a long time. I know your ass for a long time.
Bobby got a Swiss Army knife.
I know,
right now.
Bobby do the electric slide while he cutting you.
But I'm saying because, again, we live in America where black and white thinking dominates everything. It's either this or it's that.
Right.
You either down with us or get out of here. You either with us or against us. And a lot of families are split down the middle like that. I'm saying men are held to a standard that's more black and white than women.
Right.
Women
Oh,
have a
wow.
grayer
Yes.
standard. Whereas my mama did all this fucked up shit, but mama can always come back.
Right.
A lot of times kids, because they've been indoctrinated, can turn their backs on dad in the same way mom can.
Right.
And I'm saying, what does a man do in that moment? Does he say, I'm the mountain, I'm going to be here, fuck it.
Right.
I'm just here, fuck it. And just kind of sojourn through that forever?
You what you have to do, you have to have faith. Your faith, like Bobby said, you have to weather this storm. You have to have faith. Your prayer has to go up, because you have to come to some realizations. Okay, you know what? At what time am I not in God's hands? At what time? At what time is my kid or my child not in God's hands? At what time? There is no time, motherfucker. You're always in the Creator's hands. You're always in the Creator's care. You have to focus on that and go forward and be that mountain. If you're going to be that mountain, make sure that that mountain has plenty of beautiful trees. Keep that mountain well. Let it be something that is appealed. And if you establish love with your children, hard body, guess what? That love is
You
there.
guys heard about that case where the boyfriend kills the 4-year-old daughter. Now, I ain't heard nothing about the daddy. Where was the daddy?
Wow.
The boyfriend kills the 4-year-old daughter. I don't know what the mama was doing. I don't know what the situation between the mama and the biological father is. But mothers, in greater numbers, in general, some but not all, are allowed to bring in the fuckery around our children
Right.
when our situation falls to pieces.
Completely.
And now we starting to get to the crux of this situation. What's more important to many women? Is it a relationship with the man who fathered their children? Right? Or control of those children? Which is more? Because it seemed like one of them, if I don't have a relationship with this dude, then fuck everything. We ain't got nothing. Or if I do have a relationship with this dude, everything is working fine. We good.
Right.
Right.
Do they put the relationship over family? The relationship with the father of the children, do they put that over family?
Right.
Because back in the day, I remember women, aunties or such. That nigga gone, he'll be back. He can come through here whenever he get ready, you know. But we still got to move forward as a family.
Right.
Y'all remember that?
Right.
And you see this nigga on Thanksgiving. He show up. Be like, oh, there he is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a different level of resolve, I think.
Yeah, but you said you have to have a relationship with the new dude. And I'm going to tell you, deep in my heart, I tried. But if you step over the line, and not understand that too, and you still step over that line, then other than, first you got to deal with me as a man. I see so many men that don't understand. If I'm talking to you, you got to deal with me as a man. Fuck all that. Even with comedy, some of these bookers act like we just like just hand slaves or some shit. It's like, no, I'm a man first, and then you can call me a comic, and then you can call me whatever the fuck else. Sometimes these other new cats don't understand. Fuck all what you talking about. You got to deal with me as a man first, and that is my child. Now, if you step over that line, I'm allowed to check you. And if you can't take the checkness, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? Stir your yogurt and get the fuck on out of my face. Stir up your fruit.
Let me just tell you, because you're absolutely right. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a necessity to have that conversation. But just make sure when you have that conversation, it's away from anyone else. So that this motherfucker can't go into, hey, he's trying to embarrass me.
Right.
He's trying to, no, you know what I'm saying? Don't, because it's not about me making a punk out of you. That's not my issue. My issue and what is important is that you have a full understanding, nigga, that if you fuck up with my kids, you are going to be dealt with by me. This isn't to belittle you. This isn't to embarrass you. This is to inform you.
Right.
But for a lot of these young mamas, we are in the I'm over it generation. And so the new nigga represents an entirely new reality. So they get to ignore the unfinished work that caused them to break up in the first place. So as long as shit is going well with the new nigga in the new reality, I don't have to look at the
When the brothers who have wisdom and the women, sisters who have wisdom have to step in to educate this generation. You cannot ignore this generation as if you were not a part of the condition that it's now created. A lot of this generation, we are ignorant as hell. We have emotions that are all over the place. A lot of people on drugs. A lot of people don't know anything about raising a child whatsoever. Most of them know nothing about their own history, their own language, their own culture, nothing at all. They just know how to make babies, turn up, twerk, and drink all goddamn day. And that is not simply our fault. This has to do with the generation right before us. So now when it comes to this, and I love y'all brothers, you know, at the same time.
Speak on
they
it.
have to be very, I'm only 29. So when I say this, all of my elders, I respect them because at least you still here to where I can ask you questions. I can get wisdom. And I'm one of those in this generation who actually wants that. Again, you have to be willing.
Yep.
But I will deal with the minds of those in this generation so that I'll tell them straight. Don't act like you know every damn thing because you don't. This enemy will knock you off quick and you don't even know what the hell happened. Be open to wisdom. Be open to gaining wisdom as far as the mistakes as well as the successes. You don't have to like the person who is telling you this. You ain't got to like your father, your mother. You don't have to like them. But at least be open to hearing what it is that they went through, what they've experienced, so that you don't have to go through the same damn traps. They will help you to navigate around some stuff that you would have wished that they would have told you before so that you don't have to go through it yourself.
Bobby?
That's why that $200 liquid becomes an important part of further discussions. You may not have the money, but the equity and the human capital become more valuable when you don't have a whole lot of money.
Right.
But Bobby, that's coming from a 65-year-old.
He said I'm
He's like,
64.
don't push it. He's like, we still got a week, baby.
No, but that's coming from a 60. But Bobby said something very powerful, and it is correct. But it's coming from a 65-year-old man that has experience, that has knowledge, that has lived. We live in a society that doesn't value too many things that are internal. You just mentioned some very powerful internals. You said human capital.
Right there.
You said equity. The equity of my presence.
Right.
The equity of you, like you being right here, right now, Bobby, sharing what you just shared.
Right.
You've built equity into your community by sharing that information. Now, that's a fact. But it's also a fact that many will not understand what he said.
Completely.
Break it down.
And that's what I'm saying.
But-
in this generation, shit that is valued is usually external.
Well, here's one more quick thing. You still have to keep cutting.
Keep cutting, Bobby.
You know,
Cut them, man.
that oak is tall.
Yeah.
And them strokes is short. But if you keep pecking, that tree coming down, we have no other choice. Some things you just don't have a choice about.
I agree with you. I just think that a lot, you made a point. I think a lot more younger people need to talk to younger people and get that knowledge out to them. Because like you said, we're talking to someone that is 64 years old and you're dropping knowledge and wisdom. I'd like to see some younger people drop some wisdom to younger people.
Well, there go one of them.
No, that's why I'm making the point. He's like, you're 29 years old and you can drop that wisdom and they will relate to him a lot faster. And then they might you, even if
No
you're
doubt.
saying the same thing.
No doubt.
Right.
No
But
doubt.
even if you're saying the same thing, like with my son, even though his mother used to not like me to do that, but now she gets it, is I tell my son he's a God. And I know people think that like I'm out of line, like you can't say that. You're a God, you can do anything. I fill his head with all the possibilities. Cameron, that's my dude. Cameron, he's 21 years old. I tell him you can do anything you want. Do not go into parameters that they're trying to give you. Think beyond them, because the parameters they're giving you is made by white people that want you to be in this box. Don't be in their box. Now, you
Real
still have
talk.
to still be a man. I still have some of my own issues that I feel about homosexuality and femininity with men. I don't like that myself. I know there's people that love that, and it's like, well, we have to embrace them and love them, and I know they're sweet. And what Jamaicans call bati boys. Bati swish. Swishy boy. You're swishy boy. And I talk to him from that standpoint, where some people think I'm wrong, but I don't. I choose that for my son. I don't want him to go that direction. I want him to feel that he can be a strong man without being, compromised by all the
But
psychic
this society
media bullshit.
sees you as aggressive
Well, yeah.
and unevolved for those words.
And the beauty is,
Yeah.
I echo the same words. So as long as they see this generation saying the same damn thing, then they'll realize, oh, it's not just some old cat saying that.
Right.
Do you see?
Oh, it's actually real. Oh.
There you go.
That's so sad.
You gotta use those of us. That's really what they think. But you gotta use those of us in the same generation to say the same thing. Just hit them real quick. Bop. Like, okay, so it's not just something.
That's why you be here. That's why be like, where you at? You in
You
town?
call me, I'm in. Right. Yes, sir.
You need to
Take all
tiptoe
this.
over here and get in this mic. But me and Freeze, we come like we've been doing comedy for a long time.
Yeah, man.
And even with the comedy community, like it's like if you stand up and say, "No, I deserve the same amount of money as this person because I bring the same equity." That people. There are other black comics that'll look down on you like you gonna fuck it up for all of us. Get your coon cage the fuck out of here. But you know what? You're
The
Samuel
undercurrent.
Jackson and you're like, who that nigga on the nag? You mad about other black people trying to teach other black people to come up and take their money and value themselves. So sometimes people do see them. That's why Chris Rock and another comic said I was shangry. Because I would always talk that shit. When I did the Million Man March, people was like, why are you going to go that? You going to fuck up your career? I don't give a fuck about that.
But it's weird because America likes to introduce different concepts without reconciling old things, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
one of the concepts that prevents us from being able to work together in America, or I would say it's not a concept, it's a societal construct, is competition is inbuilt
Right.
in capitalism,
Correct.
in sports, in school. Competition is inbuilt. So, only the strong survived. Cream rise to the top. All that is still there. So it's hard to create this communal kind of vibe, this collaborative, cooperative kind of co-op when, nigga, if I don't do this for me, this opportunity might manifest itself for you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to have hey, young blood, let me pull you to the side and show you this game. It's rare that you find those guys. In any situation, it's rare that you find hey, young blood, come here, let me holler at you. It's rare. But when you find it, you got to, learn as much as you can and then implement that. You see? But that competitive part of it, it seeps all the way into our intimate relationships.
You know what?
Yes.
Every time I find myself being competitive, I got to pump and say, hold on.
That's right.
That's that mandingo shit. I must put my mandingo against your mandingo. Nah, man, we the mandingos. We don't have to be competitive.
We've fallen off like that.
Yeah.
So out of necessity, these sit downs become more imperative and important.
Absolutely.
You see,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
If the organs in our body were divided the same way we were, we would all die. The generation as seasoned generation. Then
no,
those right
these
above
niggas
this.
elderly.
I mean, salt and pepper.
All of them in here. Look at these motherfuckers.
Seasoned
They
baby.
old as hell.
The wise men. Over here trying to be respectful. He's over here trying to take me out of my
Seasoning that salt and pepper.
So my point is that the generation that are in their 80s and above have to educate those in their 60s and below. Those in the 60s have to educate those in their 40s and below. Those in their 40s have to educate those under them as well. And then us, we have to educate those within their teens and lower than that. It has to be a level of complete humility across the board. Pride has to go out the door today in order for us to survive. I'm saying this as a young brother to my elderly brothers because I want wisdom. Matter of fact, if you don't give it to me, I'm punching your damn mouth because you were robbing me. I'm going up against the same damn system that's still here. That should have been gone by now, but it's not gone. Why? Because we have not done enough as a collective, and it's not blame on the whole generation because y'all were destroyed too, to a degree. So I have to understand them mistakes that you made. Please tell me right now, That's what we have to do. So, but it has to be on both ends, elderly and young.
Let's do this.
Y'all need to teach us how to use computers. I mean,
Right,
I'm still trying to figure out how to use.
We got classes for that, Bobby. We would do that.
So you teach
See?
me how to use a computer, I'll pay you with wisdom.
There you go.
Now, this is what I'm telling these young boys right now.
I just had
Go ahead,
this exact conversation before I came here.
I'm going to tell these young boys this right now. If her hair pink, better wear a condom, nigga. You better wear 2, 3 condoms.
You better wrap it with foil.
Get you a little ball guard.
Yeah.
A ball guard.
Yeah.
Ball guard.
Get a ball guard.
Admanium. Just whatever.
No, because here's the thing. When you're young, instant gratification is at the forefront of your mind. So you're doing things to get the outcome as quick as possible. As you get older, you start to recognize, damn, life is a process. Mm-hmm. I get answers in increments. You don't get a whole answer all the time.
Agreed.
Especially about philosophical shit in your life, about who the fuck you are. Sometimes you talking to God. As Freeze was saying, you praying and you're trying to get an answer. Sometimes that shit don't come as words. It may come as an experience. Then you got to go decipher that experience and go, oh, I asked for this.
Right.
There's the piece of the answer that do you get what I'm saying?
Sure. Right.
When you young, you'll see pink hair, small waist, and fat ass with 2 kids. Be like, she's still in good shape. Bet that pussy fire. And you'll get on it, not understanding the economic repercussions.
Right.
Not understanding where you are in the pursuit of your purpose. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So again, now trying to have a family and mimic white folks' family.
Come on.
White folks going to UCLA now. Ain't a lot of niggas at UCLA. I want you to understand that today. What's the population of black people in UCLA? 3%? And that's all Cal States, by the way. Not just UCLA. That's all Cal States. That's Cal Berkeley. You understand? That's all Cal States in California. 3%. 1.5% of those motherfuckers is athletes. Okay? I want you to understand. Okay? You want to go to UCLA for real? You better have an 8.9 GPA, motherfucker. You understand me? You better build a nuclear reactor in your apartment
Right.
in Watts. And it better work, nigga.
Yeah.
If you want to go to UCLA. So again, we got the aspirations to be like them, but we don't have the resources.
Yeah, and I still think that we need to. I agree with you, but us each teaching each other different stuff. I know that it took me a long time because I was so aggressive and so angry, and I'm not racist, but I could not tolerate white people talking to me a certain way, and my response is, yeah, but I could beat your ass.
How about that?
So I said, how am I going to meet? How am I going to meet this bigot? How am I going to meet this bigot halfway? You're a bigot. How am I going to meet you? You're going to try to minimize me. So I'm going to show you where you can't minimize me. So that ended up being a lot of forced vacations from the government. But the point is for me, and then so a lot of, even when I came to the comedy game, there was a lot of times where people were like, man, this motherfucker's crazy.
For real.
But then again, the people
we
I
know
with,
about you.
Okay, no, I'm just saying. But you got to understand, the older brothers I was around was everybody knows 5%ers. I was around 5%ers. I was with some of the brothers from the Nation that used to do a security for Def Jam. Oh, yes. So I would do that. That's how I got to know them. So for me, I had to learn from older brothers that Ronaldo Ray. I don't know if y'all know who Ronaldo Ray is. Ronaldo Ray is the one that told me to calm the fuck down. And that's when I started calming down. I had to listen to an older brother to tell me that, because if a young dude said that to me, get the fuck out my face. But when he told me, he's like, look, I'm arguing with this nigga for about an hour. Then I realized who the asshole was, and I walked away. And I was like, I'm the asshole. I'm letting him make me angry. I'm the one that got to walk away. That's it. So I think we need to start listening. I think younger black men need to start listening to older black men, because you've been there. You've been through all the bullshit and all the systematic fucking terrorism, I'll call it terrorism, that white people have done to us. And if I can learn from you to make me better, fuck that. Sit me the fuck down.
All right, here we go, man.
All right.
Let me just tell you right now, you've been listening to Mansions on Dash Talk X. As I say all the time, we don't have all the answers. Not even close. However, we started the conversation. Now it's up to you to continue it out in the blogger sphere. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. Let's do this really quickly. Bobby Glanton, where can they purchase your book? Where can they support everything that you do, that you are working on currently? Go.
You can get my book on Amazon. It's called Real Men Don't Play. And if you want a personal copy signed, get at me at Glanton Smith or Bobby Glanton Smith on Facebook. One final thing, man. This has really been inspiring to see you again.
Yeah.
And my elders in here.
The elders is in here, man.
Every day is a school day
Yes, sir.
for any age group. You learning as long as you living.
How about it, Bobby? Freeze love.
Man, first off, thank you so much for inviting me to share this, brother.
Yes.
Please check me out on my podcast.
Freeze
comes
Talks.
on Freeze Talks right after this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We need subscriptions. Man, thank you. Again, it's good to be here. Freeze Talks. FREEZTALKS on YouTube. Check
Please
us out.
support Freeze Love. Now,
RizaIslam.com, RIZZA Islam, like the religion, ISLAM.com to pre-order Message to the Millennials.
that's right, your new book. Tell
Coming
them.
out. Message to the Millennials is coming out. Is pretty much going over how the FBI in 2017 classed those of us with intellect in this younger generation as black identity extremists, and I argue that it is the intellect, not identity, that they are afraid of. So it is the black intellectual extremists that they are in fear of.
Right.
They are trying to bring in COINTELPRO in modern time. So everything else is under Riza Islam.
Damn. And then Shang.
Yeah, yo, check me. You know what I mean? You check me at I Am Shang. That's the website. Go hit me at on the Instagram, and the new special is called Shangri, and it's broke down.
Shangri.
Yeah, and each joke is broke down by racism, sexism, capitalism, socialism, all ending in isms. And people don't realize a lot of times isms can be good, but it can be really bad. So that's what the special is, and I appreciate having the opportunity to talk. We
all the time.
You know how we do about this time.
Yes.
So I appreciate being able to meet you, and me and Freeze already talked, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. And I am going to get my prostate checked. You're right. I'm going to listen to you.
He was in
goddamn.
there saying, hey, you need to let him put the finger in your butt now.
He did say that.
You want to live, don't you?
But I loved it.
Are you in here in L.A.? You in L.A.?
I'm here now.
That's
Yeah.
real.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
thank you for tuning in to Mansions. I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I will return Friday night, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in.